What jumped out to you?
I'll tell you what jumped out to me. There was the pre-snap, motion stuff. A little bit more condensed formations. Quarterback under center more. It looks like to me they're interested in running like a gap scheme with the way that they're running the ball. Whether it's Williams, Sanders, even Deuce Vaughn, those guys got some opportunity when they'll push hard, front side, play side, and these backs were making some cuts off that. So, nice job of getting off the football today and getting into some guys. Again, they're not trying to punish guys or put them in the ground or anything like that, but getting the right steps, getting guys secured, and then allowing backs to make some cuts. But your quarterback was playing from under center a lot more than we've seen like in the past.
I mean, that suggests more play action?
Yeah, there was a couple of times they threw some play action passes off that. They're still, Gavin, maintaining the waggle and the boot. When I talk about that, that's that where you send it hard play action one way and then peel the quarterback back the other. Mm-hmm. And then that's how they're working the tight ends. Span forward, had a nice catch, looked a lot more comfortable catching the football. I know that was something that, it's one practice, but with him, it was always about hand placement. Where's his hands going to be in relation? Is he going to be ready to catch the ball? And so today there were a couple of opportunities in the individual drills. I made it a point to try and watch him to see where he was at with that, the release, the hands, and then up the field. And he had a couple of nice plays that way. Schoonmaker had a couple. They also found a way to get the ball up the seam one time as well. So there was, and that was from Joe Milton. Joe Milton threw a dime on a seam route to the tight end. So that's kind of where the offense, it wasn't anything of massively. They were running where they were coming off the goal line. So basically they're backed up and then they're trying to run that thing off that goal line, and then they got to about the 20, 30-yard line, and then they started running some plays that way. So it was really a good mix of a little bit more run than there were pass with some of the plays that we saw today.
Very interesting. Bryan Broaddus joining us from the tennis courts here, Krusty's Corner. We've been watching a lot of the plays at the break and even during the show, so we have a lot of questions to ask you. But please, if you have notes or things you want to make sure you put out, we'd love to hear those as well. I guess Shoddy said it's going to be a physical-ass camp.
Yeah.
Was that the tone today?
Well, they're in helmets and the T-shirts. We're going to get when you guys show up on Sunday, we'll have I believe we have a practice, another T-shirts and shorts practice. But then when you guys get here, Sunday practice is pads, Monday practice is a pads practice too. I think that's where he's going to get in the physicality part of it, though. Today was a lot of guys just kind of running around. I really was kind of impressed. Donovan Ezaraku, a couple of different times, they had him standing up and then hand down, and we call that wide 9, where you have the numbering system, that 9 technique's the widest guy on the line, and he was coming off the ball with some pace, and it gave the blockers a little bit of some problems there, and he was able to get in the backfield. Some good stuff from Murray, the linebacker. He was able to hang in there a couple of different times, ball at him, get off block, and then make the play. I was really impressed with Marquise Bell today at safety. Marquise Bell, a couple of different times, had to carry routes, had to carry a tight end, and then had to carry receiver. They tried to fool him with the movement we were talking about with the boots and the waggle stuff. He didn't bite on it. He stayed with Schoonmaker, was in perfect position. Ball had to go on the ground, or he would have knocked it down right there. So some guys with the moving around and being where they needed to be part of practice was good for a couple of guys.
What did you think about, and obviously it's tough without pads to really evaluate the runners. We talked about that on Love of the Star, but just kind of the order of operations.
Yeah, they definitely, they're going with Williams, and they're going with Sanders, and then the young guys are kind of filling in. I think Deuce Vaughn got a little bit more work today than than the rookie guys. But you could tell by the way that these guys the veteran guys are comfortable. It looks like Sanders, we talk about the juice. It looks like to me that he does have that little bit more quick ability to say, press front side, play side, and then if they cut that back side off and there's a gap, he's a little bit quicker of getting there than Williams. Williams was a little bit slower doing that. Deuce was really good of getting that. I'll tell you what I noticed today in the drills, because we're looking at if Blue could be a pass protector. How much could he really do? And again, it's just drills out here, but there were a couple of things they asked him to do. It's they have the defender come, and it's step, and then engage. And it was step, engage, and then adjust. And, I mean, he wasn't off balance or out of position. Hands were good. We'll see if this stuff can carry over. I have a big question. I'm thinking, like, damn, if this kid can pass block, he's the one that's got the ability to carry the ball and finish. But I think the backs today, even like I say, Deuce Vaughn had some opportunities where they're finishing and they're making runs where they're seeing the seams and then getting through it and up and where they need to be.
How about the quarterbacks, Dak, Milton, how'd they look?
I'll tell you, the thing, Dak had a couple that got tipped. He had one that was intercepted. The linebackers did a really nice job. Maris Leofow was in position on the tip ball. I mentioned Murray got in the way on some plays as well. There was never anything, Chief, that was going down the field. It was there. I mean, there was one time they threw an inside route to Pickens. He caught it. Bland chases him. They're trying to finish it. Bland knocks the ball out of his hands, and they get a recovery on it. So, Pickens was kind of showboating a little bit coming in, and Bland said, not on my watch. He came from the other side of the field and ran it down and knocked the ball out. But, yeah, there was nothing where it was like going, okay, we're going to hoist this ball down the field, vertical and all that stuff. A lot of it was some of the underneath stuff, the tight end stuff. The receiver stuff was really kind of more inside. There was a quick pass to CD. They had Pickens on the outside, CD on the inside, just a quick little shake route inside, and then CD broke inside, boom, got the play. I will say this, though, on one of the routes, our guy Carson, he got beat on a route where he got shaken a little bit off the jump. He was not able to adjust. Cropper was able to get him. It was like they were going to try and like a double move, and Cropper, the ball ended up out of bounds. But Carson, he kind of guessed a little bit, thinking it was going to be a slant. He adjusted to it, and then the receiver went behind him. There was separation, but the ball was too far to the sidelines, or it would have been a damn good play. But that's kind of, it really wasn't anything of just throwing that ball down the field a ton today.
It's Bryan Broaddus live from Oxnard, California. Here as our training camp coverage is off and running on the Fan. Nealon with the pick six. Is he moving around good? Does that jog anything for you?
No, that's I tell you what, there were a couple of different times, whether it was Ezeraku or Nealon, those guys, that even Peyton Turner, who usually plays as that left end, we think of him kind of as a guy that's what he's going to be. He had some a pass rush where he was able to win on the outside playing as a right end. And I'm like going, whoa, I didn't expect to see that. But that big number 95 was able to win off the edge and then make something happen. Excuse me, number 98, not 95, 98 was able to win off the edge right there, but not on the left side. It was off the right side. But they're moving these guys around a little bit. They're standing some of them up. They're using them as linebackers. They're putting their hands on the ground. But you could clearly see the guys like Fowler was another one. Fowler is really good at the adjusting to the snap count. So all of a sudden he's kind of it's a couple plays in, and the next thing you know, he's thinking this thing's going on one, and he goes flying to the inside unblocked before they could cut him off from the tight end. So the defensive guys showed a little bit today as far as the question you asked about the movement around stuff.
Micah's kind of out there encouraging guys. Is that what he's doing?
You know what? It was funny. We were down in the end zone, and you're so focused on what's going on. I couldn't find Micah and all the things like that.
Okay.
It wasn't like Micah wasn't like cheerleading or waving a towel like Bill Whittington or anything like that. It was they're in that situation where when they make a play, the whole group comes. Like after Nealon's interception, the whole defense ran to him and stuff like that.
What stood out on run plays with Booker, like we've been talking about? What's he capable of now that you watched him in person?
Oh, he's capable. There's no question. If they're going to play gap scheme football, and Zach could even address this because you watch this big, powerful guy, if they're going to play where they're going to mash on people that way and just push on bodies and get hip to hip, him and BB, and that's how you have the ability. I was talking about Sanders, like he takes that ball to the left behind Smith, and the next thing you know, they've got that thing gapped to the backside, and then Sanders just takes it and runs to the backside. And that's because they've got everything secure. So you've got the push, you got the tackle pushed, both tackles pushed to the left, pinned, and now you got a cut. That's what he's so capable of doing that. He's such a big guy. But if they're going to continue to run this kind of scheme, and again, very early, but the first impressions are, hey, these guys are going to try and get hip to hip and push these guys along the line of scrimmage and let these backs make cuts.
So first shoddy practice in the books, and you've gotten to see, I mean, obviously McCarthy, Garrett.
Oh, yeah.
So what were the differences? I mean, did you notice like a big thing that you can point to?
Yeah, the music is far too much. The music's far too much for me. You know, I mean, I couldn't imagine Marty Schottenheimer having this much music in his day. And no, it was, and I don't know the song, so if they played this, I mean, I'd feel, but no, I tell you the thing is, absolutely, Lucius, you're absolutely right about that.
No Ozzy Osbourne out there today.
No train, that crazy train or any of that. But what I do notice is though that it's the first practice, so you're going to get guys running around. You're going to get the players hustling to the ball and trying to get there, trying to make a play. The movement part of it, that part of it was really, really cool. But the thing about this practice, there's always something going on when it comes to moving around. It's drill to drill. There's no wasted moment. The breaks they take, then they get to the next thing and move on. I'm looking forward to seeing his padded practices because I do think there's going to be an element of some physicality to it because of how much they're at least trying to run the ball. I don't think this in one practice. I don't think this is lip service. I think this guy's going to try and run the football. And work on, because there was like a lot of times today where Dak Prescott was playing underneath center and these quarterbacks as well.